was president, I was asked by the New York Roadrunners to organize cyclists to escort the wheelchair. That was a very moving and giving experience.
And, there was a gentleman by the name of David Walls, and he qualified to do RAM one year. We had a fundraiser. We got behind him. Some of the members decided to be on his team. I made a sculpture out of wire of like a bicycle race. We raffled it off and we collected like $500 or something. We even Lee and I had a similar very early cycle computers. We gave those to him because he needed more than one so he could switch bikes. And in its early days, I believe the race across America ended in New York City, and the club was asked to help out, and a bunch of us went out and kind of escorted the riders from the George Washington Bridge down to, I forget, I think it was Empire State Building.
We created Escape New York. That was with Raina Franco, Steve Britt, Mitch Yarvin, Jane Kenyon, Judy Myers, all worked on this. Well, Raina Franco, Steve Britt, and Mitch Yarvin came on the board with the intent of creating a New York Cycle Club century. And they brought it up at the board, and we went ahead and did it. The title, Escape New York, was subsequent.
Have you guys registered already? You did. Yeah. You registered, but you didn't. You threw your hand up. You did. Okay, great. Park your bikes on the right in the roped-off area, and then in between the two roped-off areas, there's a table. Check in there. Have some coffee and a snack to get you started on the left. Anytime you're ready to go on the left. All right.
Well, before I was club president, when I was still the Sea Rides coordinator, I did I created the Connecticut Shoreline Ride. And the funny thing about that was turned down by Five Borough Bike Club as being impossible to do. Well, we did it. And we get close to 100 people every time since, and it's been running, I think it's 15, 16 years now it's been running. Gary McGrain has taken it over. Well, there are two things I think that makes it a great ride. One, the actual physical ride in the fall, going through the turn of the trees, the leaves, and coming along the shoreline, and then going inland, having lunch on the green, and so on. And the other thing is the camaraderie from the A, B's, and C's on the train up, and especially on the train down with Frank Pepe's Pizza. It just is a fun thing. And it's just almost a glorious way to, quote, end the season.
1986, I signed up for a ride. This was a club ride, but this is my all-time favorite ride. It was pedal the national parks in Utah. And we hired a college kid to take us from one national park to the other. We flew to Salt Lake City, and Art Gooderding, who arranged the trip, had arranged for a private home. Our favorite was Arches National Park, which was just magnificent, the orange-colored rocks of Arches. And we actually, in our cleated shoes, and that was before cleat covers, we actually went hiking on the stones of Arches National Park because you just had to walk down paths and look at things.
If the club members are going to be intrepid enough to trek out on the first day of January to the beach, why not have a little comforting after ride festivities? Like I said, I'm only maybe 5 miles from there, so I decided to invite whoever decided it as an incentive for people to ride out. If they could make it to Coney Island, then they were welcome to come at my house. And it went on for a number of years.
I used to lead a ride out to Staten Island. We go over on the ferry, and it was just around the perimeter of Staten Island. On the top of Lighthouse Hill, there was a Frank Lloyd Wright house. And one day we were up there, I don't know, this third, fourth ride up there, and there were about 20, maybe even 25. It was a big group that year. And all of a sudden, the front door opens, and this little lady comes out. And she said, "Oh, what are you all doing here?" And we said, "Well, we're looking at your Frank Lloyd Wright house." And she said, "Oh, well, take off your cleats, leave your bikes, and come in." Oh, my goodness.
In 1995, I took a position as the medical director at Woodhull Hospital in Bushwick and Williamsburg. Shortly thereafter, there was a bicycle extravaganza at one of the public schools in Manhattan, Astor Levy on First Avenue. And I noticed a table there, and it was a small table with a couple kids and a teacher. It was called Recycle a Bicycle. As luck might have it, this Recycle a Bicycle group was from Progress High School, which was a few blocks from the hospital. And I went and spoke with them and spoke to the teacher. They told me about the program they had in the school, which is a program for kids to participate after school. They were learning about bicycle mechanics. They were learning about bicycle shop business. They would repair old bikes. Kids could earn bicycles. They were collecting old bikes and sending them to poor children in Haiti and Africa. I thought it was wonderful. And they didn't really have a bicycling program per se. Since it was so close to the hospital, it was in my neighborhood, so to speak. One of our big goals in medicine today is to try to have Americans adopt healthier lifestyles, including regular physical activity into their lifestyles. What better way than to get kids into this habit as youngsters and then take it on as adults? So I spoke to the teacher and we talked about having a bicycle program. His name was Ira Perelson. In the beginning, it was only a few rides a year. It was all high school kids. It took a little while to adjust the distance that kids could ride with their strength and adolescent hormones and things. The program has grown exponentially over the years. New York Cycle Club has taken a phenomenally generous and wonderful role, providing leaders, providing expertise, providing bicycles, providing financial support. I mean, they've really been phenomenal. It really takes a group effort between the Cycle Club, my hospital, Bike New York, and Recycle a Bike. So this year, for example, we have 150 children signed up, aged 7 through 20. They're coming from almost a dozen schools in Brooklyn, in Long Island City, some from Manhattan, some from Long Island. We've gotten over 240 adult leaders, most of whom come from the New York Cycle Club, and they volunteer anywhere from 2 or 3 rides to all 18. As with the SIG, it's a progressive series, so each ride is a little bit longer than the one before. So the first ride is about 5 miles or 8 miles. They finish with participating in Escape New York and then riding 50 miles. So last year the kids together rode 10,000 miles. Each kid rode almost 1,000, about 800 miles. And I have kids now who are participating for 5 or 6 years in a row till they age out. It's wonderful. One of the health HMOs provides jerseys and shorts, so we have incentives for the kids to participate and the adult leaders. So it's really been a very, very fulfilling experience for the kids and I think for the adults as well.
Just that there were so many wonderful activities like the repair clinics that were given, the wheel building clinics that are given. It's just that this is a club which has engendered an interest in cycling and continues to do so. It's giving back to the community with the junior programs that it gets involved with the bike, getting bikes for needy children, training kids to ride bikes. This is a great organization, and now I understand we have just been listed by LAB as one of the best bicycle clubs in the country. So that's it's a feather in the cap, and I'm very proud to have been connected with the organization as I have over the years.
Irv was more concerned about the future of cycling than he was his own mortality. He had given so much to cycling. And I remember certain things that he said. He would say that Gary, and I think he was quoting Karen Fantis, when we're on the road, when we're on our bikes, we're diplomats for cycling. And translated, it means be considerate of motorists and pedestrians, and the future of cycling will be bountiful. It'll be supported by the public, and cycling will be healthy.
I mean, that's why we stay in the club. You know, that's or certainly what kept us in the club, because we met some wonderful friends.
It's basically the people that we have met, the friends that we have met, from these early people we're talking about, Chris Manley, who continues to be a dear friend, and Arlene, his wife, how nice they were to us, to right up until this past Saturday on this currency, the 25th anniversary of the sea. I have a mentor, John Viesta, who he's just so nice to me.
It's been a wonderful experience. That's all I can say.